Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, a big announcement from Husker Athletics on the status of Coach Scott Frost's job.
Plus, the latest on the tragic deaths at a Houston music festival.
The defendant is sentenced to life in prison.
But first tonight, Bailey Boswell learns her fate today for her part in a murder case. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Boswell could have been the first female here in Nebraska to be put on death row.
However, she instead got life behind bars for the murder of Sidney Luth of Lincoln. Channel 8's Yosef Nasser was at the sentencing in Wilbur and has our top story tonight.
A collective gasp inside the Saline County Courthouse earlier this morning at the sentencing of Bailey Boswell. Unlike her accomplice, Aubrey Trail, who was sentenced to death here back in June, Boswell was spared the death penalty after a team of judges could not agree that the punishment was appropriate. Bailey Boswell departing the courtroom after receiving her sentence for the murder of Sidney Luth without making eye contact with the family of the woman she murdered. Monday morning, the families of Luth donned in purple, Boswell, and Boswell herself hung on every word of the sentence read by Judge Vicki Johnson.
Sentence. On count 1, murder in the first degree, the defendant is sentenced to life in prison.
Bailey Boswell was spared the death penalty. She will not be the first female in Nebraska to sit on death row.
The reaction is we're grateful, just like Bailey's grateful for the sake of her family, particularly her daughter, Nala, that she received a life sentence.
In order for someone to be sentenced to death in the state of Nebraska, a 3-judge panel must all agree that a murder manifests exceptional depravity. Depravity is just a fancy way of saying very wicked or evil. How does the state determine this? At least one of the following 5 factors must be demonstrated: apparent relishing of a murder, the infliction of gratuitous violence, needless mutilation of a victim, senselessness of the crime, helplessness of the victim. Only 2 of the 3 judges agreed that Boswell's role in the murder warranted the death penalty.
Nothing in this dissent should be understood to diminish the senselessness of the murder of Sidney Luth and the great pain this has caused her family and friends. However, because I could not find that the state had met its burden of proof as to the aggravating circumstances, I hereby dissent from the other 2 judges on this panel.
Boswell's attorney Todd Lancaster says a split decision is not uncommon in these sorts of cases. Was justice served in this case?
I'm not sure how to answer that. Was it a good thing, I think, that Bailey didn't get a death sentence? Yes, I think that is a good thing.
Now, as for the Luth family, they were escorted outside of the courthouse through a side door to the parking lot. They left almost immediately without speaking to reporters. Reporting in Wilbur, Yosef Nasser with Channel 8 News.
Boswell's attorney, Todd Lancaster, did say that Boswell will now be transported to the York Correctional Facility. He also said that he plans to appeal certain evidentiary rulings, including some statements from Aubrey Trail, her co-conspirator. Now on to sports, some big news from Husker football.
That's right. When it comes to coaches, some things stay the same. For some other coaches, it's time to leave. Channel 8's Kelsey Casper has the details for us tonight. Kelsey.
Yeah, guys, after being on the hot seat this season, Athletic Director TREV Alberts confirmed today that Scott Frost will return for his 5th season to coach Nebraska football in 2022. The decision comes during the team's bye week and following their 26-17 loss to Ohio State. Many thought this year would be the last of Coach Frost after producing 4 straight losing seasons in Lincoln and an overall record of 15-27, plus the dreadful stat of being 5-18 in one-score games. But in his statement, Albert recognizes the program is not where anyone wants it to be, but expressed his confidence in Frost and where this program is heading. Here's just a portion of the statement released by Athletic Director TREV Alberts saying, quote, Scott has laid out a clear plan and vision for the future of Nebraska football and has agreed to a restructured contract. I'm excited to continue to work together with Scott. And this was just announced in the last hour that Scott Frost has fired 4 assistant coaches. Those include offensive coordinator Matt Lubick, offensive line coach Greg Austin, running back coach Ryan Held, and quarterback coach Mario Verduzco. Rod, Megan, no word on who will fill those positions or the details of the restructured contract, but they still have extra time because of the bye week this time. We'll have more coverage coming up tonight at 6.
All right, a lot of movement going on there. Thank you so much, Kelsey. In other news now, we're going to stick with sports. Lots of discussion last week about a song played at a Husker basketball game.
Governor Ricketts expressing some distaste with the Unity song played for foreign players. Head coach Fred Hoiberg, though, speaking out today about the decision.
We have players from all over the country, all over the world, that have to come together and play for each other and be one. and come together. And obviously we need to be better in our country in that area.
The anthem is called Lift Every Voice and Sing. Hoiberg said they will make some changes and play the song after the national anthem instead of before. Hoiberg, head coach Amy Williams of the women's team, and TREV Alberts agreed that playing the song was important for conclusion. In national news, we go now to that deadly concert disaster in Houston. 8 people killed, among them a 14-year-old.
Hundreds more were injured as the crowd surged toward the stage. Several lawsuits have been filed. Here's the latest from ABC's Morgan Norwood.
As investigators comb through cell phone video working to piece together the timeline of the chaos that erupted at Travis Scott's deadly Astroworld Music Festival. Harrowing accounts from concertgoers who say they barely escaped. 19-year-old Quentin Savas says he was trampled under the throng of fans while desperately trying to pull his brother from a pile of what he described as lifeless bodies.
I was telling people, like, there are dead bodies over there, and nobody believed me.
8 people killed, 25 rushed to the hospital, and nearly 300 treated for injuries on the scene. It happened as the crowd seen in this Apple Music live stream surged toward the stage. People jammed into barricades.
Our barricade even started to break, and the security had to come over to us and start strapping the rails.
The crowd chanting, pleading with Scott to stop the show. It's unclear if Scott could hear them, the rapper though at one point stopping the performance before continuing. Authorities said they couldn't immediately stop the concert or more chaos would have ensued. Multiple lawsuits have already been filed against Travis Scott, Live Nation, and others. A criminal investigation also underway.
I think there's comments that he makes at the concert about rage on. I want to see some rages. It depends on when that was being said and in what context.
The 30-year-old rapper posting this video addressing the tragedy to his 43 million fans on Instagram.
I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this happening.
Back at the venue, flowers and cards honoring those who were killed.
We will always celebrate you. You're in heaven, mijo.
And the Houston police chief releasing a statement saying that he met with Travis Scott and his security team prior to the concert, expressing concerns about safety, also asking his team to be mindful of social media messaging. The Houston mayor has promised a thorough investigation as to what led up to the deadly chaos. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Time now for our first forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dissauer. John, a little cooler today than that beautiful weekend we had.
Yeah, we posted double 70s as we went through the weekend. A very nice weekend, and maybe our last 70s of 2021. Let's hope that's not the case, but it may be. We've got a lot of cloud cover outside this afternoon. Now as we head in towards the evening hours, you can see that as we take a live look to the northwest from Honda of Lincoln there at 27th or South 27th and Yankee Hill Road. And that has dropped our temperatures compared to yesterday. We're running upwards of 5 to as much as 12 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. It's 59 degrees right now in Lincoln. It is 60 in Beatrice. We made it up to 64 degrees, by the way, today in Lincoln. But look back out to the west. While temperature's not terribly cooler, it is much cooler than 24 hours ago. In fact, as you go into the western part and southwestern corner of the state, we're talking upwards of 20 to 25 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. You can see some clouds across the area as a cold front has moved through the area. Winds have turned around out of the north-northeast, and that's how they will remain as we go through the rest of the evening. 57 degrees by 6 o'clock, 52 degrees by 8, and then 50 degrees by 10 o'clock tonight. We've got some cooler temperatures coming our way, as well as the chance for rain. We'll take a closer look at that in my Storm Alert Team forecast in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, John. In other international and national news, the U.S. is finally accepting international travelers for the first time since closing its borders nearly 20 months ago.
The government announced lifting the entry ban last month. Fully vaccinated travelers need to show proof of a negative COVID test no more than 3 days before their travel. Airline industries and the American economy will hopefully see a positive impact from this policy change.
So when the Biden administration announced that the U.S. border will be open, we saw a 600% increase. The flights today are full, of course, over the next few days.
International travelers, when they come to the U.S., on average, they stay longer, they spend more money, oftentimes spend on average $4,000 per visit.
The new rules will provide relief for America's closest neighbors. Only essential workers from Canada and Mexico have been permitted to travel across the borders. There's already heavy traffic and long lines at U.S. points of entry. The Biden administration is sending deportation case notices to 78,000 migrants.
All of them were recently released into the U.S. after crossing the southern border. Packets of legal documents are being sent to those migrants, instructing them to show up for court hearings. Judges will then decide whether the migrants will be allowed to stay in the country. Some worry, though, that those packets of information won't reach the migrants who don't have official addresses. Still to come on the news tonight, after a months-long fight with COVID, the story of a mother's homecoming.
That and your full forecast coming up after the break. Don't go away.
Behold, Taco John's new family.
Tonight, the remarkable story of how one mom persevered through her battle with COVID.
She spent nearly 3 months in the hospital on a ventilator. Now she's finally going home to her family and newborn baby. Here's ABC's Juju Chang with the story.
A moment nearly 100 days in the making. Sierra Chump walking out of the hospital to rehab. Healthcare heroes cheering her on after nearly dying of COVID. The South Carolina mom's harrowing journey beginning in July. Then, 8 months pregnant with her third child, Sierra was unsure how the vaccine would affect her baby. She chose to wait.
It wasn't like I'm not doing this. It was like, well, as soon as we give birth, this is a done deal.
Sierra was infected and within days hospitalized for pneumonia. Doctors rushed to deliver her son several weeks early. She was then placed on a ventilator in a medically induced coma. Sierra's heart stopping twice. Doctors worked on resuscitating her.
They called me that night and said, hey, you might want to get up here and come see her. We don't know that she's going to make it.
Suddenly, Jamal was parenting 3 kids on his own, documenting the heartbreak, going viral on TikTok.
As far as COVID-19 goes, guys, I don't want anybody to experience what we are experiencing.
Then, after several weeks, the good news they'd all been waiting for.
One night, a nurse calls me and she says, "Hey, Jamal, I'm giving you a call because Sierra's awake and she wants to talk to you."
Sierra is growing stronger by the day. Today, the big homecoming, reunited with her family at long last.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dessauer.
What a fantastic, with lots of sunshine around, temperatures hitting 70 both Saturday and Sunday. That is the first time we've had 2 consecutive days reaching 70 degrees in nearly 3 weeks. I suspect that won't be the case as we go through the rest of the year and even into early next year. We may hit a 70 degree before the month is over, but I doubt we'll see 2 of those back to back. Take a live look right now from Schoen's Roofing in Beatrice, looking off to the south and west. You can see a lot of clouds around the area. That's also the case as we look live from Honda of Lincoln, looking off to the south and the west. Sunrise, or I should say sunset, just about happening now here at 5:15. I believe it's at 5:16 or 5:17 this evening is when it's officially happening. Temperature-wise, we made it up to 65 degrees today. It's only 60 right now at East Campus, 60 at Yankee Hill Drive, 59 degrees officially at the airport. Head further to the south towards Beatrice, it's into 60s still there. 60 degrees in Hebron, and a bit cooler as you head out to the west. 55 degrees right now in Grand Island. Take a look back to the west, you can see some cooler temperatures. We showed you during first weather that temperatures are running upwards of 25 degrees colder than 24 hours ago back over the western portion of the state. Warmer air off to the south and east. This may give you an idea. There is a front right about here, and that is in fact the case. You can see the front that's just off to our south and east. That'll keep us with northerly winds tonight, moving around to the northeast as high pressure builds into our north. For the rest of this evening, we'll keep skies mostly cloudy. 50 degrees by 8 o'clock, 50 degrees by 10. We'll eventually get down into the middle 30s to right around 40 degrees in Lincoln, 42 degrees in Beatrice, down to 39 in Seward, and 38 degrees in York. Tomorrow morning, we'll have a few clouds around early on, but I think we'll see mostly sunny skies as we head towards the afternoon. Maybe a few more clouds hanging down across portions of Gage County, basically along and south of Highway 136. North of there, though, you'll notice temperatures tomorrow, well, cooler than today. It's still going to be well above normal. So 59 degrees for high temperature in Lincoln, 60 in Beatrice, 57 in York, and 57 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow in Columbus. Beyond that, and I should also mention there's a small chance we could even see an isolated sprinkle or two as we go through the overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we'll see clouds increasing. As we go through the day on a Wednesday, our next weather system starts to come our way, and that will bring with it a chance for some rain, especially towards the afternoon and towards the evening. Some of those showers could be on the moderate side, some slightly heavier showers as you go further into Kansas, where there could be a few thunderstorms as well. We're talking temperatures in the mid-50s by Wednesday afternoon. Behind this system, once it rolls through, we'll start to notice our winds turning around to the northwest. Now, I think we'll see a few more clouds Thursday afternoon than what Stormcast is suggesting, but cooler air returns to the area. It's going to be a blustery day with winds gusting at times, perhaps 30 to 35 miles per hour. 7-day forecast then shows, again, Wednesday, a high temperature of 55 degrees. For Veterans Day, we'll call it mostly cloudy and windy, a little blustery, a high of 48. Wind chill values probably into the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. A chilly day, or I should say a chilly start Friday morning, down to 28. 42 and windy on Friday. That's going to give us wind chill values into the 30s under mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy again by Saturday, turning windy again by Sunday. And next week we'll see temperatures trying to rebound a little bit by Tuesday and Wednesday. By the way, I thought I'd throw in the 10-day, 40 days until Christmas on next Monday.
Oh, come on, John. It's a little early for that, don't you
But
think?
still 40 days, that's not that far. I'm thinking more shopping days than the actual Christmas day itself. So.
True, but I just love Thanksgiving so much that I won't put up any Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving. You know, I give it
100% agree.
There are some radio stations now, it's all Christmas music.
I know.
Hey,
some are ready.
To each their own, right? And
But
if there's
hey,
support out there for it, they're going to do it, right?
But here's the important thing: kids, get the letters written.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to let Santa know at some point what you're wanting. So yeah, get the letters written. You're running out of days to do that.
Better to do it sooner than later.
That's
All right.
right.
Thank you so much, John. Now the latest in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. An armed paramedic who was shot in the arm by Rittenhouse taking the stand.
He says he pulled out his firearm because he believed Rittenhouse was an active shooter.
I do know, though, I was never trying to kill the defendant. That was never something that I was trying to do. In that moment, I was trying to preserve my own life. But doing so while also taking the life of another is not something that I'm capable or comfortable in doing. That goes against almost a lifelong ethical code that I've lived by in regards to medicine.
Rittenhouse, pictured right there, is facing 7 charges, including first-degree intentional homicide. He fatally shot 2 men and injured the armed paramedic who you just heard from, Grosskreutz, during the protests over the shooting of Jacob Black last year in Wisconsin. The defense team says Rittenhouse only fired in self-defense, saying the 3 people who were shot were part of an attacking mob.
All right, on Wall Street now, a good day. The Dow gaining 104 points. NASDAQ was up 11. Here are your numbers. We're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
This week, now.
Finally tonight, a viral hand gesture is credited with saving a girl's life.
And a moose gets loose and goes for the touchdown. Jeremy Roth has these stories and more. And tonight's take a look at this.
Authorities in Kentucky say a viral hand gesture learned on TikTok helped lead to the rescue of an alleged abduction victim. Laurel County deputies say a 16-year-old North Carolina girl who had been taken across state lines was spotted in a vehicle by motorists on the highway.
There was some people behind her that noticed that she was making hand gestures that signifies for "I need help."
Authorities responded, stopping the vehicle and eventually reuniting the teen girl with her family. They say the hand gesture originated from a TikTok video that has since gone viral. One advocacy group is praising the use of social media to spread this universal language of emergency assistance.
As a society, we're paying attention. We're taking care of each other. So we can't do it if we don't speak the same language.
A school day in Canada turned surreal when a giant moose smashed through a classroom window in Saskatoon. Only one minor injury was reported and all students were safely removed. Conservation officers say the moose was dazed from its grand entrance, but they were able to tranquilize and remove it to be safely released outside the city. Finally, a moose on the loose in South Dakota showed its school spirit by taking a victory lap on a football field at South Dakota State. Authorities worked to wrangle the moose, but not before it got to the 40, the 30, the 20. It's going for the touch. Okay, well, it went out of bounds. Close enough. The surreal moment happened one day before the school's annual game against their rivals, the North Dakota Bison. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Just checking the stadium out.
Well, you know what? He has a right to do that, right? Yeah, getting back to that TikTok thing with the showing distress, you knew about that, right?
Just from seeing it on social media
Right.
myself.
Right.
Yeah, I think it had made the rounds enough that it's getting a little more well-known, so
Yeah.
maybe people will be able to recognize it if they see it.
If it can save somebody's life possibly, then yeah, glad that we're all getting a little more publicity with it. All right, let's get a final check of the weather with John. Slowly but surely getting cooler.
That's right, and of course the sun's setting much earlier as well. Sun set officially about 11 minutes ago. As we go through the rest of the evening, we'll see our temperatures dropping off from right now sitting in the 50s, so not too bad out there right now, but again towards the evening we'll see 52 degrees by 8, 50 degrees by 10, eventually low temperatures dropping into the 30s to low 40s by morning. Not a bad temperature tomorrow and really for the next couple of days, but it's later this week we start to see some cooler air behind a cold front. It's going to make it feel a little bit more like late November, early December.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you all for joining us.
World News is next. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 Eyewitness News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
Stop by Comfort Made Mattress Factory today and save up to $500 with our bigger bed, smaller price sales event. Locally owned Comfort Made Mattress Factory, 27th and Superior.
Closed cap.